So you're going to have to forgive my guardian Caesar here. He usually doesn't look like this. He's currently supporting the cause. By the way, if you go to the gem store... Oh, wait, you can't see it because I already accepted it. I don't know how long it's going to be going, but you can get this outfit for free in the descriptions of whatever it is. So it's a limited time offer because ArenaNet's promoting a thing. So anyways, this is what he ordinarily looks like. He's not really the Tony Stark of Tyria, because let's be honest, all of Sura are Tony Stark. Kind of the exception with this guy is he created his armor. He's like, you know, if might makes right in the world, then if I'm going to rule the world, then I might as well just play by its rules. So he created it, really. So he created a set of armor for himself to protect himself, because let's be honest, the Asura, they're not very physically imposing in any ways. So he created this armor to be able to withstand the rigors of the world around him.
I hope you're here to help.
Although admittedly, his backpack is kind of a strange choice. Honestly, I think it's just because he crafted the backpack rather than because it actually fits his personality. Honestly, I don't remember at this point, but whatever. In any event, you're probably wondering why I'm bringing this up. Well, it's because Caesar here is my weaponsmith. And what exactly do weaponsmiths make? Great swords. They make great swords. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, because today I just now completed the 4 ingredients necessary to create my second legendary weapon, the Greatsword Exordium. And this one actually surprised me. If you'll remember, actually it was in January 2019, I started work on my first legendary weapon, and that was the legendary longbow Ferris, which is currently being wielded by my female Norn Ranger, Sandra Allure. She still has it, and I'm still loving having it on her. She's still the only character I have that regularly uses longbow, with the exception of my second Ranger, who I don't use him as much, but whatever. But the Greatsword, on the other hand, I do use that on more than a few characters, and I've mentioned previously that Exordium was pretty damn pretty, but I'll get to that in a moment. The construction process for Exordium, oh yeah, I was talking about Ferris. Ferris, from beginning to end, took me 6 months to produce. I started in January 2019, and then I finished in July of 2019, or was it June? It was either June or July. I don't remember anyway. I do remember it was a minimum 6-month process. At that point, I've been playing for almost 4 years. For years at that point, I had been selling mithril ingots and elderwood planks rather than stockpiling them. And so the biggest hindrance to me, and it took literally months for me to get enough elderwood planks and mithril ingots in order to complete Ferris. And the regret was real that I didn't have all the components. But on the other hand, I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into, so I didn't realize when I started out making Ferris that it would be so bloody expensive. Oh my god! Because, you know, it's your first legendary, so yeah. But eventually I completed Ferris, and aside from the mindless, mind-numbing grind of picking up resources over and over and over and over, and I actually purchased more than a few of the lesser materials. Was it Vial of Blood or whatever the hell it's called? I don't know what it is. And I actually also picked up quite a bit of mithril ingots as well off of the market. So I purchased a lot, quite a bit, in order to get me caught up, but I still had to grind out the material. And also the farming process that I had for actually going through the maps and doing events and getting achievements and things like that, I had not refined that. So here it is, 6 months after I completed Ferris. Actually, it's 7 months at this point. Here it is, 7 months since I completed Ferris, and I significantly refined my process. But I also learned my lesson. For the last 6 months now, because it's taken me a month and a half now, or a little over 1 month, for the last 7 months, 6-7 months, I've been stockpiling elderwood planks and mithril ingots. When I started this process in early January 2020, I had just shy of, how many was it, 10,000 elderwood planks saved up, and I had just short of 8,000 mithril ingots saved up. So that sounds about right, because again, it's 38,000 mithril logs, not the refined version. So I still had to collect those resources. I still had to go out into the world and farm them, but I did them at a slower pace and I wasn't thinking about it. So when I started making Exordium in early January 2020, I was in a much better position to get these things out a lot faster. In fact, well, maybe I should have done this somewhere else. Where am I going? I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, when I started this process, I actually got the first two, what are they called? The exotic precursors. I actually got both of those done fairly quickly. Just because I had the resources available on me. Let's see. I just saw them. I just saw them and I closed it. Exeter. Nope, that's wrong. Malumres was the first one. And I crafted that. It was fairly easy. Shards of Exeter. The Mystic Curio, those were easy for me to brew, so I just banged those out real quick, so that was not a problem. And I also had, several thousand. I had more than a few thousand of each of these already set up. So I built Malumres very quickly, and then the next one was Viziosepi? Viziospe. I don't know how that's pronounced. I assume it's Italian, but I'm not certain. It doesn't matter. This one also went fairly quickly because, essentially, I mean, you're just crafting two exotics. So you can bang those out in a day or so, depending on what kind of resources you have. Really, it was the Shards of Exeter, which is the unique material, and the Tribute of Exeter. That you have to, or tribute to the Exeter. That's really the only thing that's going to kind of bog you down when you construct these things, is the unique shard of whatever it is that you need. But then, when it got to Exeter, obviously now you're talking about time gates, so it actually takes time to craft some of these things. Deldrimor steel ingots, I had to craft quite a few of those. A lump of mithrilium. That's a time gate you have to contend with. So time gates are a thing, but across, and I'll say it again here, across the entirety of the legendary construction process, really you don't. It's when you're constructing some of the ascended stuff, that's when you have to start worrying about those time gates. Here it is, 10 Elonian leather squares. That was a weird one for me because, and I'm just gonna bitch real quickly here. Why is it that if a Grandmaster weaponsmith can use Elonian leather squares, why is it that it can't craft them? I actually had to use my Grandmaster tailor, who's Kiri. She's my first elementalist. She's the one who crafted those, because she was level 500 Grandmaster Tailor, so she crafted them, and then I gave them and then she gave them to Caesar. So he had them, but for whatever reason, I don't understand why the Grandmaster Weaponsmith can't craft a component necessary for one of its own recipes. It's just kind of a weird thing. And fishing crystal, whatever. Oh God, I've got tons. I've got tons of these things. Yeah, I've got almost 1,500. It's ridiculous how many of those things have, and that's because, I'm farming those maps every single day, so whatever. That was easy to craft. So Exeter it's a fairly nice weapon to use. Where is it? It's still in here. Here it is. Exeter's a pretty nice weapon. Oops. Let's get rid of your backpack.
All things have a right to grow.
That's fairly close to what Exordium is going to be. So I like the skins. I'll say this, the precursor weapons look pretty sweet, just by themselves. For example, here's the two precursors for Ferris. That one's kind of bland, it's boring, no one cares. But then you look at the next one, and it's a little more detailed, it's got a little more of the shape. And then the third one, which I'm totally blanking on the name of what the third one was, the Ascended precursor that you use in the final recipe, that was, right, I guess I should move these. That was fairly close as well to the final thingy as well. So, question. I've got a question here. I crafted Ferris almost 7 months ago. and I kept these. Just something told me to keep them because, like, if I ever wanted to make a second Ferris, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. That would be. I don't know why I would do that because okay, I've got my reasons. But anyways, if I ever wanted to make a second Ferris, I would rather have these already in supply and not have to recraft them. I mean, they're exotic, so they're not that difficult to make. Really, they're not. I made them in, like, an afternoon or something like that. Whatever, no big deal. But I'm wondering, like, if I were to make a second Ferris, would I have to recraft these, or can I salvage them? Because the materials are nice, blah blah blah. Can I salvage them and not lose credit? Or in fact, the only now that I think about it, the only one I would think I would have to worry about is the lesser of the exotic precursors, which is Exitus and Malumres. For Doctrina and Visiospe, I think because those are used in crafting the actual Ascended weapon, Ascended precursor, I think I'd have to keep those. But the lesser of the two exotics, do I need to keep those? Or if I do get rid of them in whatever fashion, would I lose credit and then need to craft them all over again? How does that work? I've asked around. A lot of people don't know the answer to that question because they usually just get rid of them. But like, if you ever want to craft a legendary a second time to put on a different character, do you have to recraft these things, or does the game keep track of the credits that yes, you did indeed complete this already. You don't need to make a second one, or you don't need to make a second exotic precursor. Obviously the ascended precursor disappears when it goes into the Mystic Forge, but I'm wondering about the exotics specifically. Those are the precursors, the exotic precursors. That's what I'm wondering about. So if you guys could give me an answer on that, I'd appreciate it, because even some of my guildmates, they're not entirely certain about it either. And we went scouring through the forums, and nobody really seems to have an answer. So if you guys could let me know about that, I'd appreciate it. Completely distracted. Yeah, so the other thing that went, well, I'd say unlike Ferris, just because the amount of time that it took to gather the actual resources, the Mystic Curios were something that I banged out fairly quickly. So I constructed. Is that right? Did I? Yeah, I got most of those out of the way. You still have to construct like 290 of them or something like that, because when you make the shard of whatever it is, which is the unique component or whatever it is, you need about 290 of these for generation 2.5 legendary weapons. So because you can see right here, it's a 1-to-1 ratio to craft these things. So the Mystic Curios for both of the exotics and the Ascended, that went fairly quickly. But then I just burned through the materials as quickly as possible. The interesting thing about the Mystic Curio is you'll see over here on the left side, there's actually multiple versions that you can craft. It's defaulted to using intricate totems, but you can in fact use large claws, large scales, large fangs, potent blood, large bone, and potent venom sac. They will all construct the same Mystic Curio. It's just you have a different key component or whatever it is. So that allowed me to bang those out a lot faster. But the problem, and this is actually a trap that I fell into both times, because when I constructed Ferris, because I didn't know better the first time around, I discovered that, you actually need these, potent venom sacs, large claw, large scale, large fang, potent blood, large bone, and potent venom sac. You need all of those for a second component, and that is the gift of condensed magic and the gift of condensed might. It changes a little bit depending on which 2.0 legendary you're crafting, but still, those also, and you have to have 2 of each of those. Was it condensed might, condensed magic? You need 2 of each of those, and those all consume potent venom sacs, large claw, large scale, large fang, blah, blah, blah. So while it's easy to just make 290 Mystic Curio and then not have to worry about it, if you do that, you will suddenly realize, oops, you actually need those for something else. So, even though I got the Mystic Curios crafted really quickly, I discovered that and there isn't a recipe here because it's the was a gift of condensed might and gift of condensed magic. Those are things that you create
Good
in
hunting.
the Mystic Forge. So you're not gonna have a crafting recipe for it,
All
unfortunately.
things have a
Uh,
right to grow.
ArenaNet, why don't we have legendary recipes in the game? Why don't we have those recipes? Because I needed to go to the wiki, which is all fine and well and good, but you would think that for constructing something like a legendary weapon, you'd have the recipe on hand within the structure of the game itself, rather than having to go online through a search engine, find the wiki, and then find the item, and then look the list up. Um, I also used a an off-game resource guide, and I'll have the link in the description below for that, of a different site that's not related to ArenaNet, not related to Guild Wars 2, that has lists of all of the materials necessary to craft whatever legendary you're aiming for. So I used that at the same time that I was using the wiki. So both of those working together got me where I needed to go. And I should point out that I did that both with Exordium and with Ferris. So again, ArenaNet, why do we not have the recipe? Even though it's a Mystic Forge recipe, you still have to talk to what was it, the legendary craftsman's Grandmaster Craftsman Hobbs. You still have to talk to this guy, and I don't know what that person is, whatever, or that character. But anyway, you still have to talk to them just to activate the. Here, I'll actually show it to you while I'm here. Let's see, for secondary. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Spiro, that's what the third one was. So you buy this first recipe, and this makes the first um, exotic precursor, and then you buy the second one, which is a second precursor or exotic precursor, and then when you're done constructing that, then you make the ascended precursor. You have to come here and buy that, and you can see the cost for each of these. You use up a bit of karma and some spirit shards as well. Oh, good, my karma's back up over 3 million. Good. And then the exact same thing happened with Exordium. I made Malum Res and Visiospe, and then Exeter. It's the exact same thing. I don't know what those other ones are. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I wish that the legendary recipes were actually in here, and it should say something like, okay, you've got all the components you need, go to the Mystic Forge, and insert them there, and you'll get your weapon. You can't craft it here, so it should be like a notice that says, okay, great, you've completed it. Now take it to the Mystic Forge and dump the things in there. So that was those Mystic Curio were a little tricky. And what ended up happening when I constructed the Mystic Curios, I ended up uh, with all these, and then what I ended up doing is for was it or is it vial or gift of condensed might? Anyways, when I went for those two components that I mentioned previously, what ended up happening is, because I did use up all these intricate totems and all the others, what ended up, and you can see how low they are at this point. You see large bone, like 54, large claw, 100. And those are the numbers that since I constructed the condensed might and the condensed magic, that's what I have since that time picked up just through random drops or whatever it is. But I did end up buying a lot of these. I don't remember which one exactly. It was either the large scale or the large claw that I ended up buying in bulk in order to complete the remaining to complete the condensed might and the condensed magic. So I ended up spending a lot of gold in order to do that. I was not happy about that. Um, the other thing that I
Good hunting.
really, really screwed up on, and I mentioned this previously, I when it came to crafting Ferris, Amalgamated gemstone. Um, I made a huge mistake when I was constructing Exordium. Huge mistake, and I deeply regret it. When I started crafting Exordium in early January, I think it was like January 3rd, January 5th, something like that. I don't remember exactly anymore. Um, I had just over 300 gold, or no, I'm sorry, I had just under 300 gold. So I was doing fairly good. And then I was like, okay, I've got this itch. Okay, I'm ready. I think I'm ready to construct my next legendary. I've got a lot of elderwood planks, and I've got a lot of mithril ingots. I'm ready to go. I've had 6 months to build this. 22 gold. Jeez, what is that? I have no idea what that is. What is this? I have no idea what that is. I don't care.
Spirits of the wild
Um,
welcome you.
I'm sorry, I got completely distracted. So when I was working on Ferris, what I ended up doing was, in addition to doing the multi metas, the not world bosses, but the meta bosses in Heart of Thorns and Season 3 and Path of Fire, and I did that for 6 months in order to build up my amalgamated gemstones. Because originally, I only had, or I'm sorry, this time last year I only had about 36 of them, or something like that, or some number I don't remember. And so, I needed to build up. Well, amalgamated gemstones, the reason why they cost so much money per unit is because you only can get 9 of them roughly per day. So rather than grinding out those maps for weeks or even months at a time, instead you can buy them off the market. I knew that at the time, and I actually did do that with Ferris. But I I was collecting amalgamated
This is a
gemstones
bad time
from
to be
those
traveling.
those meta bosses at the same time that I was also buying them off the market. So I was only buying 2 or maybe 3 amalgamated gemstones at the same time that I was earning them off of those meta bosses. Well, here it is, 6 months, almost 7 months after I constructed Ferris, and I've been using it for that long. And I think this time around it was like 136. I had about 136 amalgamated gemstones. So I was continuing to farm those on the off chance, like, yeah, okay, I'd like to do this again sometime, but I know I'm going to have to build it up, so I'm going to keep track of those. So I had about 100, 135, 136 thereabouts when I started this. But there was a component, and I'll just point the name right there of what the component is that you need these amalgamated. Wait a minute, it's in the what is... Here it is, crystalline ingot. Here it is. This is exactly... Amalgamated gemstone. And you need, was it 200? You need a whole stack of crystalline ingots. So, yeah. Um, these things, I have so many of these things, it's ridiculous. I'm throwing these away every single day when I'm farming them. But anyways, you need 250 crystalline ingots, which means you need 250 amalgamated gemstones. So last year when I was constructing Ferris, I was building it up over time, and then eventually, okay, yeah, I made I made as many as I needed. But this time, I had everything that I needed, but I was just shy of, I was like 136, 135 amalgamated gemstones. So I went and I had just shy of 300 gold when I started this a little over a month ago. So I said, F it. I'm just going to go buy the remaining amalgamated gemstones off the market, and, I won't have to think about it for the rest of the 2 or 3, 5 months, however long I was guessing it would take me to craft this. Um, and I ended up spending almost all of that gold. Almost all of it went
Spirits of the wild
towards
welcome you.
finishing off the amalgamated gemstones, and that was last month. Okay, that was January 2020. I knew what I was doing. I knew that they cost expensive, and this price, generally speaking, the price of an amalgamated gemstone, it doesn't change quite that much. There's not a lot of variation to it. You can see current buyers are all sitting at, you know, the low 90s, high 80s, and the current sellers, well, they're all pretty much the same. So the price of this doesn't change a whole heck of a lot. But if you're going to go for a stack of them, that's how much it's going to cost you. And I purchased, let's see, if it was 136, let's just call it, 130 something. 136 is 128. That's just under half. And, so I'm just going to assume, and drag it down here. So I spent a lot of gold. And really unnecessarily, because you'll see, since I used up all those amalgamated gemstones, you can see, since then, which was, beginning of January, I've now collected 41 amalgamated gemstones. That's 41, let me show you. That's 41 amalgamated gemstones that I, up until today, did not need to purchase. How much gold would that have saved me? It would have saved me 38 gold. That's 38 gold as of today that I would have had in my pocket. So, yeah, that was a huge mistake on my part, and I deeply regret it because I used a lot of gold to slam this out really quickly, and just, oh god, that was so stupid of me. I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was like, you know what, I've got enough gold, I can cover it. But, when I dropped it down to almost like, what is it, 3 or 4 gold or whatever it is, I realized the massive mistake that I had made, and the regret immediately kicked in. The buyer's remorse kicked in immediately. So that was a huge mistake on my part, and I do regret that. I completed it, yes, I completed it, but still, that was a really stupid thing for me to do. So that was a thing that got in my way. I mean, and I'll say it again, for when I was constructing Ferris, I was buying only 2 or 3 of these at a day, and the dailies, the 2 gold that you get per day, that was covering the cost of those amalgamated gemstones. But so it was kind of revenue neutral at that in that regard. But this time I was just bam, 130, 140 gold or 240 gold gone all at one time. That was a huge mistake on my part. So just, I can understand, getting these components, whatever it is, and then having to do it all over again. That was irritating, just because, believe it or not, these don't build up quite as quickly as you like to think they do. I wonder. Oh yeah, here they are. Yeah, these are the things I had to. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. So these you kind of pick up out of nowhere, but it's these exotic ones. Those are the ones that are a bit more troublesome. And you can see what ended up happening is I ended up spending a lot of gold on the market to finish constructing these. And you have to construct 2 of each of these. In fact, Gift of Dust, I've got so much dust I don't know what to do with it, so that really doesn't matter. But the Gift of Blood, I had to double up on. Let's see, what was the other one? Gift of Scales, I had to spend a lot of gold, especially on the large scales there. So this is actually the one that'll catch you, is constructing these Gift of blah blah blahs. That's what will cause you trouble, because these exact same things are used way down here. See, Gift of Venom. So it'd be Powerful Venom Sac. It's the exact same thing. So be aware that when you go into this, the Mystic Curio uses the same component as the Mystic Curio will eat up the same component as these Gift of Blah, Gift of Blah, Gift of Blah. It's the exact same thing. So be aware that is an easy trap to fall into. Which way should you do it? Well, the Mystic Curio, I mean, you could. Fortunately, I'll say this. Fortunately, the Mystic Curios can be constructed from more than one of these items. And again, I'm just scrolling through it, and you can see the component changes each time. So there's a bit of relief there. If you have more of this than you do of this, then you're not going to feel it as much. But if you use up these Mystic Curios all at one time for constructing whatever it is for the shard of blah blah, yeah, that's when you're going to feel it, because then later on when you have to go for those other components, yeah, that's the part where it's going to bite you. Which is something I didn't remember to mention when I finished the construction of Ferris. Another component that I had to worry about this time around that I didn't previously was Mystic Clovers. In order to do that, you need Philosopher's Stones, Mystic Coins, globs of Active Plasm, and Obsidian Shards. Now, you also get them from a daily login. Where are they? I was just looking. Oh, here they are. Mystic Clovers. This is what you construct, and this is the recipe that you use to get them. I did not have as many Mystic Clovers this time around. I actually needed to acquire some. So what I ended up doing, there's a couple different ways you can do it, but the method that I used, I can't remember if you can, no you can't. The main way that I was getting them, just because I didn't spend them, I wasn't using them, is I got them from just the daily login. Of course, at this time last year, I'd been doing that daily login for 4 years at that point. So or almost 4 years at that point. So I'd built up quite a few Mystic Clovers. I didn't have to think about it. But here it is, 6 months later. Yeah, I need to get some more, and I don't have another 4 years to spend on it. So I ended up using Philosopher's Stone, Mystic Coins, Globs of Ectoplasm, and Obsidian Shards. I don't remember if I had to buy... I think I did have to buy Obsidian Shards. I don't know. It seems to me I had to buy some more of one of these. But in any event, this is how I ended up getting enough of the Mystic Clovers. And you're not going to get this is one of many recipes where Zamaros over in the Mystic Toilet, he'll eat up resources and not give you exactly what you want because it's like a slot machine. Just because you put something into it doesn't mean you're going to get the exact results back. So, I had to purchase hundreds of Philosopher's Stones and had lots of globs of ectoplasm, and I actually had more than quite a few obsidian shards waiting. So I had to throw away quite a bit of these into the toilet in order to get enough Mystic Clovers. But of course, as you can see, I've already done that, already taken care of that. But that is one way to take care of that problem. And the other thing that I in particular had to struggle with in order to make Exordium was I had to spend another whole 8 hours in World versus World, which, for those of you who are not aware, I do not like. I do not like World versus World. I don't like PvP mode. I don't like player versus player. I'm not a PvP person. It's too fast and okay. So I was bitching and moaning in open chat the whole time because I hate World versus World because I got ganked so damn easily and I gotta literally drag myself through the mud. By the way, have you noticed that the Warclaw has been nerfed yet again? Believe it or not, the Warclaw was more powerful 1 year ago when it debuted, when I was using it in order to get Ferris, than it is now, because they've nerfed the out of it. So, yeah, I mean, what the hell's the point of even getting the Warclaw? I mean, really, they keep nerfing it all the time. The World versus World trolls keep doing their thing in the forums and arena nets listening to them instead of the players like me who are like, come on, the Warclaw needs to do something. Let's have it move fast. So anyways, yeah, and it also doesn't help that, here's a little secret for you. I'm part of the Anvil Rock server, and Anvil Rock is notorious for not having a very strong presence in World versus World. So basically every time I was going into World versus World, I was alone. So I just had to farm NPCs, and I was getting ganked left and right. And I just have to be in World versus World for 8 hours. I don't necessarily have to kill a certain amount of things in order to go credit, although that does help. And it does help to have XP boosters, whatever it is. It does help to have those. Absolutely make certain that you have a guild XP booster, or whatever it is, to help you out with that. But yeah, oh god, I hated that. 8 hours. Another 8 hours. First 8 hours that I ever spent was to get my Warclaw. The second 8 hours, no, I had to do it. Yeah, the second of 8 hours I had to spend was in order to get the one of the two Catmanders for my home instance, and then the third time I had to spend 8 hours in there was to get. No, I had to do it. Actually, the third time I had to do it was for Ferris, and then the fourth time I had to do it was for Exordium. So I oh, I hate World versus World. I'm not even leveled up. Here, let me show you this again. Let's see, what's my progress? Rank and abilities. And this is only because, what's his name? Caesar's never been in World versus World, but you can see him rank 53. So, like, I don't... Well, I guess that's what it is right there. Whatever rank 53 footman means, I don't know what that means, and I don't really care. But the reward track... you can see I only did just enough World versus World to get that Gift of Battle. And that is also required in order to make was it second generation legendaries. You have to have a gift battle, and in order to
Oh,
do
these are
that, you
reflective
have
of
to
dreams.
be present and moving around. You cannot AFK in World versus World anymore. They kick you out of the server, or it automatically kicks you out after like 15 minutes or something like that. So you have to be actively moving around the entire 8 hours. It doesn't have to be continuous 8 hours, like an entire literal real day. No, it's just it has to be the amount of hours it takes, and then you'll get eventually you get the gift of battle. And with an XP booster, that'll help shrink it down to like 7.5 hours, something along those lines. I'm not entirely certain. But as you can see here, this reward track will repeat itself upon completion. Click to turn this feature off. Basically, the only time I go into World versus World is I'm going to be going for a gift of battle, and the only reason I'll do that is to get a legendary or a cat for my home instance. That's it. The war claw. This was such a waste. I keep nerfing that shit. Let's see.
This is a bad
So
time
yeah,
to travel.
I did not enjoy the World versus World thing. That was not fun for me. That was just ugh. I was playing a bunch of podcasts and music in the background, so I didn't have to think. I was just, okay, I'm just going to wander around, bam, dead that fast. You dismounted off your war claw, and 2 hits later, you're dead. Like, what the So, yeah, I don't like World versus World, and if they're going to keep on nerfing the war claw to the point where, you're better off being in a walking guardian, then it's not really worth it. That's not very encouraging for new people or people like me who are hesitant to join World versus World.
Spirits of the wild welcome you.
So I think that was all of the difficult parts. Ultimately, when you're crafting these legendary weapons, it's just down to a grind. It's just collecting the resources over time, and then when you're done making something, then you want to go to the trading post, and then you want to
You are a
make up the
welcome guest.
difference. Actually, you can see here I just sold off a whole lot of vial of linseed oil in order to complete one of the components. I think
This
it
is
was
a bad
the
time to be
thing.
traveling.
Gift of Exordium. I finished that half hour, 40 minutes ago. So, yeah, because I needed 100, was it Mystic Runestones or whatever it is, and you need 100 gold to do that. So I was at like 70 gold or something like that. I sold a bunch of linseed oil and finished that off. So I kind of wanted to show this off, but I figured I'd be talking more about the process of making the legendary rather than showing off actually constructing it. And speaking of, I'm going to move away from that really annoying sound. Let's get this over with. We want to stand in it, just in case. And as I did last time, and as you always want to do when you're constructing a legendary weapon, you want to post the 4 major components necessary to construct in the open chat. You tell everybody, I've done it, I've completed it, here's the proof. I'm not just linking out of the wardrobe. No, these are the actual components that I'm showing you. Yay, I've got them. My regret last year, or 6 months ago, was that yeah, exactly. My regret last year was that I did it in the what's it called, the Mistlock Sanctuary. I did it there, and like 2 people noticed. So I said, yeah, I want to do it here, so more people will notice. And oddly, only 1 person has noticed. Of course, it's almost 10 p.m. on Saturday night, so everybody's. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
May the sixth
In
watch
response to
over
that person, they're absolutely right. In my opinion, getting the gift of Maguma Mastery, in my opinion, is easier than getting the gift of, what was it, Desert Mastery, I think, which is the Path of Fire version. I don't like the, just here's a quick aside here, I don't like the Path of Fire maps. I don't like a lot of the NPCs in there. I rarely go, like, even though I've had Path of Fire for the 2.5 years that we've had it, I don't like those maps. I really don't. Like, people are always bashing on the Heart of Thorns maps. I prefer the Maguma Jungle, the deep Maguma Jungle, to these things. So, Okay. Rain Priest, thank you. No idea who you are, but thank you. I I don't like the Path of Fire maps, so when I was constructing, they actually give you a choice for the second generation legendaries. They give you a choice. You can either go for the Path of Fire gift of like Desert Mastery, or you can do the Heart of Thorns version, which is the gift of Maguma Mastery. So anyways, yeah, that's something I wanted to mention is that I prefer to go for the Gift of Maguma Mastery. So you have to do map completion of all 4 maps, and then you can buy, Gift of the Nua, Gift of Chalk, Gift of whatever it is from all 4 of those. The Gift of Maguma Mastery is actually not too bad to construct. That's just that's actually why I prefer to do that one. Okay, so here we go. Let's actually leave that open. Maybe I should leave that open so I can... Okay, here we go. It took me just over 1 month to construct this legendary. I thought I was looking... I was looking for at least another 3 or 4 month grind. When I started this in early January, I thought, oh god, it's going to be... I'm going to be beating my brains out. But here it is. What is this, February 8th, almost February 9th, 2020. It took me like 5 weeks to make this. I can't believe how fast this went. And I think a large portion of that had to do with I had so many, I'll say it one more time, I had so many mithril ingots and so many elderwood planks already saved up. Over the course of 6 months or whatever it is. I never sold any of them. I always stockpiled them. So this was a really fast construction. I seriously doubt that I'd be able to do this like the same day or something like that. I don't think I'll ever be able to do that like some people did with Ferris a year ago. I'm just saying. But this was only a 5-week construction for me. I'm stunned how fast this went. It's not even registering right now. Thinking back on it, it's like, yeah, you had to do World versus World for 8 hours. Whoopty, you know. So this was an incredibly fast build for me the second time around because, okay, I know what I'm going to have to get myself into. Yeah, that's what I thought. Legendary Collector, 2 League. Yeah, they said you couldn't do that with 2. They said, like, oh, you have to make 2 of the same Legendary. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's bull. Yeah, Legendary Collector. Or no, maybe it's Twice Told Legend? Maybe it's Twice Told Legend. Okay. Thank you, Zomaros. Yay. So, my second legendary weapon. Let us have a look-see, shall we? Now, just because Caesar, I don't use him very much. He's one of my craftsmen, so I don't use him very much. Okay, I'm not going to get into Guardian here, but he does use Greatsword. So since he crafted it, let's let him play around with it and see what happens. Ooh, as a Skrit are fond of saying, shiny. Actually, I'm not entirely certain who's gonna be wielding this. I think my Mesmer is gonna carry this. All right, let's do it. Caesar, do it. Of course, because he's a guardian, he'll always have that little shield on the front there. It's a very pretty sword. It's a very hollow sword. There's a lot of holes in it. There's a hole there. There's a whole lot of stuff in here. So, like, practically speaking, it's not gonna work. But whatever. Now, why did I construct Exordium? Why did I build this thing? Well, it's because... ooh. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Oh, they're like little whirlpools. Oh, neat! Hashtag apples for Tybalt. Nice. little... They're like puddles of light. That's neat. But they change into crystals somehow or something like that. That's neat. That makes sense. I like it. I like it. Now, why did I construct Exordium? Because, I mean, we've got the Twilight Sword, we've got, or Greatsword, we've got the Sunrise and the, oh, are they both Sunrise and Sunset? And then the other one's Exordium, or the other one's Twilight? I don't remember. So there's the original one. Well, Exordium is only the second ever legendary Greatsword. Though compared to the first generation, and it's also the only second generation Greatsword, so that's kind of a big thing. Also, I just noticed the, Doc got it. I also noticed, just now noticing that the blade actually glows, not just in the center here, but the edge of the blade is pulsing, the inside of the blade, the whole thing is actually. That's nice. Like that. But anyways, the reason I chose Exordium is not just because that's really impressive footsteps. I like those nice footsteps. It's not just because it just looks pretty like this, but it's also because it's by far the most unique legendary weapon that ArenaNet has given us to date. By the way, I should point out, we have Exordium is 6 months old or 7 months old at this point. It came out in June or July, just as I was completing Ferris. So we haven't had a new legendary since. We've had what? We've had 3 Living World chapter updates since this came out, and no new legendaries. That's 6 months. Very curious. Anyways, the reason why I constructed, did I say Ferris? I meant to say Exordium. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying Ferris. I need to retrain myself. So the reason I constructed Exordium is because of its animation. Oh yeah, it's a sword. It's a great sword. You just swing it around all over the place. Blah 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 blah. So that's no big deal, right? Okay, well let's take a look at this. You'll notice when he was spinning around that Exordium transformed into a double-sided axe. Watch again. You'll also notice that just like with other great swords, on the Guardian in particular, the Guardian, when it does that skill too, it actually throws kind of phantom versions of the great sword out. Watch it get spun out. So you can see the Exordiums getting thrown around all over the place, but that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is when you, here's a half second here, is when the sword itself is spinning. That gun that he turned. Let's see, maybe I'll do it this way. So it's a unique animation. Yeah, there it is. Twilight, the original. He put it on a. Here's the first generation. That's the first great sword. Honestly, I thought about it. Or no, this is one of the 2. So whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I don't want it. I don't need it. And honestly, there's no character I have except, well, you know, this actually might not look too bad on what's his name? The Sacrificial. That might actually work on him, just because he uses red. He uses the Bloodstone collection weapons. But in any event, yeah. So that's the second skill. Now let's take a look at the third skill. Oh, I'm actually going to have to look at that from the side. I hope I can do this. You'll see that there, Exordium transformed not into an axe, a double-sided axe, but it transformed into a hammer. Look again. Let's do it this way. I don't control it this way. Watch again. Or it changes. I can't tell just because it's moving at normal speed. I'll have to look at it in the slow motion during editing. But it's either changing into a giant hammer, a war hammer, or it's changing into a single-sided axe that he's bringing down. And this one's just, let's see, let me move you out of the way. Let's see what he does with this. For the 4 skill. And of course I lagged just as I hit that. So unfair. The toy golem seems to like it. I'm not opposed to the toy golem. It's just that's not the golem that I want. I want a different one. Anyways, let's look at that again because I lagged just as he did the attack. Kind of looks like a spear. I am seeing that looks like Exordium's like enlarging in size and it turns into a giant spear that he's driving into the ground. Let's see. Trigger it as soon as yeah, he's moving it so fast I can't see what he's doing. I think this is the one where, yeah, he throws this one. The Guardian throws the sword out, and then he can pull. And then if you tap it a second time, so I actually want to. Oh, why did I hit that button? Derp. I should be doing this in open world anyways, rather than hiding in the city. But it is the last of them, so. Well, he is the one who constructed it, so I guess he should be allowed to wield it first. I'm probably going to change his Greatsword to be Exordium, just in honor of the, because like Caesar, his RP, he uses the culturally themed weapons from the Asura. So like anything that's good for any other Asura is good enough for him. So that's what all his weapons look like. That's his theme. But because this is a legendary skin we're talking about, and also because I don't use him very often, I'm probably going to give him. Oh yeah, because the weapon Exordium's not been. I haven't given it stats yet. Okay, so this Golden Moa, for example, I'm going to use the 5 skill. I'm going to pull, or I'm going to throw the sword out with the 5 skill, and then I'm going to deliberately pull back. So let's see what it does. Let's see, I'm going to do it this way. Then I'm going to pull it. God, I haven't used the camera this way in so long. Let's see. Let's back up a little bit here. I don't remember, how far does this reach? 600. Okay, so I want to be fairly close. Okay, so he just points the sword straight up in the air, and then that's it. Okay, so the unique animation is Binding Blade when he actually throws it out. See, I think I can get a picture of him. Oops. Daggone it. This right here is why I almost rage quit Guild Wars 2 5 years ago. Almost 5 years ago. Alright, so I'm just going to do the close-up of when he throws it. Yeah, so it just turns in the axe again. I don't remember if these... You'll have to forgive me, I haven't used Guardian for a while, so I don't know what these do. Okay, those don't have anything to do with the Greatsword. Okay, I didn't think they did, but still. Okay, let's see. Let's grab another one. God, how do you people do this? Oh yeah, the animation. There's 3 different animations for skill 1. Usually I use the action camera, so it's really strange from my perspective to be changing my camera direction. Yeah, like the number of edges that the sword has like doubles or something like that, so you're not getting hit once, you're getting hit like 3 times or something. That's pretty cray-cray right there. Oh god, I can't wait to get this on the sacrificial. Oh! Oh, that's gonna be so badass. Oh! Huh? Why'd you stop? Oh, that's why, right. Oh, that was lame. I haven't played with Caesar in maybe over a year at this point, so I don't remember all the things it does. It seems to me I can't see that. That was overkill. That was overkill. Okay. So yeah, that's what the animations, and it only, if I remember correctly, it only applies to the Greatsword animations. It doesn't apply to, or the Greatsword skills, I'm sorry, it doesn't apply to any of the others, so, yeah. So that's it for the Greatsword on Guardian. And now for my girl, Sandra Salor, my very first character, who's currently wielding my very first legendary weapon, Ferris. Still a very awesome looking weapon. Just, oh my god, it's so sexy. I'll tell you what's sexy is a female Norn voice, I'm just saying. Okay, so, let's see. Currently, she's got Calidbold Orchida, which, wait, is that right? Yeah, that's the Greatsword. And the reason I chose that, because she is the Pact Commander, she's the one who blah blah and blah. She's using that, but then at the same time, I also have her using Calidbold Rosa of the Shaman, which is her regular sword. So, because this is a great sword we're talking about, I'm probably, and Calidbold was originally a regular sword. I'm probably, for Sandras, I'm probably going to leave the regular sword as is. Probably. I'm not entirely certain. But anyways, for a while now, sword and axe have been my go-to weapons for ranger. But I kind of fluctuate. Well, that's not entirely fair. I mean, this is a quick aside here. I'm particularly there really isn't anything that's particularly wrong with any of the weapons. The only weapon that I don't like on ranger is the short bow. It's the only, because short bow is very much a Condi weapon, and that doesn't really help. Just kind of the things that it does. Does this bounce? No, it does not bounce. Okay, I'm probably thinking of the thief version. But anyways, I don't like short bow on rangers, so like, don't care. Whatever, don't care. But aside from short bow, I like all the weapon arrangements, all of them on ranger, including spear. Spear's not bad. And that also includes the greatsword. So I kind of flip back and forth between her having her doing it two-hand or doing it single-hand. So, but then anyways, I'm not certain if I'm going to have her wielding Exordium or not. I mean, that'd be kind of an interesting thing, but because I'm bouncing back and forth, I'm probably going to stick it on a character. More than likely going to stick this on a character who's always using greatsword. It'll be better suited for them. But for the time being, for the moment, Sandras, this is most likely going to be the only time that you wield two legendaries at the same time. My god, girl, you are a god. Actually, I'm seriously considering thinking of switching her armor. Just because, like, Ferris is ridiculously powerful, so, like, maybe I should give her a new helmet, or new gloves or something like that. I've actually been debating changing her appearance, just a little, just you know, because I like the hat and I like the coat, and I love Baby Minnie Funko Pop Ring. That's so goddamn distracting. My God. Okay, so anyways, let's see what you do with this.
Recover. Return.
What? Oh, also an Orin. Also an Orin female. Okay, so. Sexy on sexy. Can't argue with that. Actually, none of my female characters are deliberately sexy. Anyways. Is she changing direction? Yeah, she is. No, she's not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's changing much from what the Guardian did for its single skill. There's 3 attacks, yeah. Okay, let's see what happens.
Excuse me, traveler. My companion and I are trying to help the Risen. Could you...
Huh? Yeah, it doesn't look like it changes that much. Although, again, it's moving so fast I can't really tell. Oh, it had a jagged edge, like a sawtooth edge. That was awesome.
the sanctuary?
Oh, God, these things are so useless. So not worth committing the mastery points to, I'm just saying. Yeah, okay then. Oops, I missed.
Easy now. You're among friends.
I'm trying to get a look at the side of the thing, but I can't.
This is much easier to work with.
Ah, attack him. Of course it changed. Why wouldn't it? Oh, it's a fairly short recharge.
You have nothing to...
Yeah, it looks like it has some sort of a toothed, jagged edge to the leading side of it. That's pretty neat. And what's this? This is the dash, right? Yeah, this is the dash. Oh, it changes into that double-sided axe again. I should not have turned that thing on. That was dumb of me. Eh. That is so cool. What's this? I don't remember. Oh, you block. Oh, I want to see how this works, because I think this one turns into a shield. Baby Funko Popperine. Ugh. Oops. Let's try that again in 13 seconds. The business end of my lead character. Alright, let's try this again.
We've been here, we haven't even managed to
Oh,
hold
that's
the beach.
distracting. Yeah.
Just keep coming.
Yeah, that turns into a hammer for the second or the third skill. Let's see. I want to get it from the side this time. A little closer. Huh, that's cool. You know what I should do is get her up on top of something. Whoa. Okay, don't fall. How do MMORPG cameras work? I don't even... Okay, one more time on this. And it's hidden. So she ducks down, but then a new set of blades, or whatever it is, the blades kind of extend outwards, whatever it is, to form a shield. Which is awesome, by the way. Now, of course, there's a counter to that. I think I double tap that? Yeah, you kick them. Okay, so shield. And then oh, she put her blade down into the ground and used it for leverage. Cool. What's the fifth one? I don't remember. Deja vu. Daze your foe. Deja vu. I think it's just smack. 12 seconds. I should also point out, if you think it's taking me a little while to kill anything with this, keep in mind that the sword does not have its stats activated yet. Let's see. God, look at this. She's got 2 legendaries on her. What the hell? So you can see, even though the weapon strength, superior sigils thinking charge of 2 to all stats each time you kill a foe. 5 charges if you kill an enemy player. How dare you attack me when I'm looking at my stats? What's wrong with you? So yeah, that doesn't do anything at all for me. Yeah, so like I don't have the stats selected and I don't have proper sigils or whatever it is on here, so that's why it's taking me so long.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, what are you doing? Oh great, now I gotta wait for that thing to recharge. I couldn't see it in time. I'm not used to looking at characters from the right or left side. It's strange to me. Because I'm usually using the action camera where it's always in front of me. Always, 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 always. So anytime I turn my camera, she turns as well. So it's strange having to do this from... Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell him to be passive.
Everything.
Come here. Bitch. Okay. Oh, I forgot you could block at the same time that you move. I forgot about that. Alright. Cool. Cool. By the way, as a quick aside, I turned off the recording and I was looking at it from the front and I was like, oh, I wonder what it looks like from the side. Oh my god, that sword is huge. That's what she said. That sword is huge on a Norn. What the hell, even? I can understand that being on a male Norn, whatever, but like, what on earth? Like, the handle alone is the size of her arm. Good gravy. Look at this. Look at that. Frickin'...
Defend.
Good grief. Okay, so next up is the only warrior that I have. That is Darren Axe Devil. The reason I call her Axe Devil is very simple. Because Warrior Axe is just too damn fun. Actually, her name was originally Darren Fast Turner, I think. Yeah, Fast Turner, that was her name. But, think Axe Devil. I was hooked. The moment that I put dual axes on there, I was like, okay, yeah, I actually need to spend the gems and change her name to Axe Devil. That's just too funny. Anyways, short of giving her Frost Fang, this is probably going to be the only time that she ever wields a legendary. Again, actually, that Greatsword looks better on a Char. Let's be honest, looks better on a Char, whatever. Is it just me or did that get bigger? Did it? I think it did. Yeah, that sword got way bigger when she wields it. Good grief. I'll be honest, I haven't used Greatsword on her for quite a while, so I don't know what these things do. I think that for like the skill ones that they use, I think those are all the same. The animations might be the same. I'm not entirely certain. Oh gosh, do I really want to do this in Tangled Depths? Not particularly, no. Not here, I don't. I didn't think about this before I did this. Oh, I know.
Situation compromised. Fall back to the safe zone.
Here, oh god, I saw that. What the hell? Got cut off a little bit, but I wish there was a way to... I know there's like a PvP lobby, but I don't know where that is. I can't really... Oh wow, did they texture that up? Wow, that looks great. There's a shine to it I haven't seen before. It used to be a dull gray, but now it's all metallic. That's impressive. Alright, anyways, moving on. What's this? Do I want to... No, I can't do that. I need something that'll fight with melee. Something I can stand still and not die horribly. You will do fine. Damn it. Oops. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, the Torment's gonna kill me even after he's dead. When I was first leveling up, Darren Axtell here, she used to run Axe, and Greatsword. That was what she did through all Central Terraria. But as soon as I moved into Heart of Thorns territory, I realized, yeah, sometimes you need a ranged weapon. So, unfortunately, I'm forced to have her use rifle. Warrior rifle sucks. Just sucks. Alright, what does this do? Dude, that That multi-image. Dude. Love it. Let's see what it looks like from this side. That's awesome. That's great. I like that. And it's not even the blade itself that changes. It's just, oh, what's that called? The not mirror image or whatever it is. After image. That's what I'm thinking of. It's the after image of the blade that you're seeing. But still, that's a unique animation. That's not. Let's see, do I have a regular greatsword on her? Yeah, I do. So if I do exactly the same thing. Yeah, you still see the blur of the blade, but you don't see like the individual blades, like frame rate, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, it's nowhere near the same thing. I guess it's more flashy. I guess that's the way you could put it. Cool. Current. What's this? Is this a leap? Oh, this is a dash of some kind. Okay then. Wait for these guys to come back. They did already? Not sure. Oh, it changes into an axe. Again. God, that hurt. I stood still for a few seconds. He almost kills me. Stop complaining, Ava. Rock dog? What is this? Oh no, you don't. Oh, I forgot about that. What is this? This is a throw, right? Throw your greatsword, your foe, so that it returns. Oh, it's a boomerang. Okay. And then the sigil dog died. Yeah, it turns into kind of a four-sided or four-tipped boomerang. That's neat. Neat. Oh, here's the dash. Okay. Oh, that's boring. Ow! What? Who dares? Oops. Ah! Stop jumping. Pissing me off. Oh, so four is a throw. And then 5 is a dash. Alright, let's see what this is. Do I have to hit something? Charge and strike your foe. Okay, so it looks like I have to actually hit them with something. Oh, Harold! Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Oh, I can play with that. Come on, I ain't got all night. Here it comes. Cool. Cool. Oops, I did that wrong. He survived way longer than he needed to. No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I think that's enough. corpse. Like I said, it's more than likely that she's never ever going to use a legendary again. So I think this is her only opportunity to use a legendary. Try it while you can, Darren. By the way, her name is Darren in reference to an online friend. Axe Devil was something I came up with on my own, but Darren is in tribute to a friend.
A true warrior needs a weapon for every day of the week.
What does he need for every other day of the week? I mentioned earlier I was looking forward to how the sacrificial would look with Exordium on him. Oh, this is going to be juicy. It's going to be so juicy because he uses well, where'd it go? Where are you hiding? Okay, there we go. He regularly uses Greatsword. It's one of his. He's a Reaper. How can he not use a Greatsword? Just saying. So yeah, let's see what happens here. That's not... Again, that's not too dissimilar from what the other skill ones do.
Losing blood.
Oof. Where are you going? Get back here. Clump of fur from a pig? Seriously? Nasty mofo. See, is that the pole? Oh, no, that's not. Oh, dude, what was that? Oh, dude! Oh! I saw that scythe! Oh! I need this! Look at that thing! It turns into a bloody scythe! What the hell? Oh my god. Squee. Just squee. Give me more blood. I need more blood. Gimme. It's too close for that. Now, when you say blood... See, I'm just gonna clear the first miss. Bullshit. That is amazing. Oh, I love it. It turns into a war scythe. Oh! That's so good. That's so good. No veterans yet. Get used to this. I haven't used the sacrificial for like way more than half a year, so I only pull them off to show them off to other people right now, so I would have to get back into the rhythm of it. Oh, shit. So what does this do? Oh, it's a drill, okay. Ooh, that was awesome. Oh, wow. Not only does it turn into a spear with like multiple blades, but the tip of it's like an arrowhead. It actually spreads even farther apart when the blade is traveling forward. Oh, God, that's awesome. Whoa! Dude, what? Let's see, is this the... Okay, yeah, so this is just an AoE. That was boring. That was boring. Let's try that again. That's dumb. And then this last one is a pole claw. Ah! What? No! I missed! That's what I tried to do. I tried to do a double critical on him, or a double 2 skill, and he feared me. Daggone. Warthog will knock me back, but I'll take the chance.
Extra 10.
God, that's amazing. This is a pole claw, right? Yeah. Oh, it's like a little spike thing. It's like a whip. Oh, that was cool. Let's see, I'm going to do it over here. Get this into the shade. Oh, does the weapon glow? No. Backpacks will glow. No, wait a minute. Because his backpack doesn't glow. I don't think there's anything on him that glows. Huh. Yeah, there isn't anything on him that glows. Okay, so there's nothing here, and then... Oh, it's his footsteps that glow. Interesting. But not the weapon itself. Yeah, the weapon itself doesn't create a glow. It's the footsteps only. Huh, that's curious. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I'll do it this way. Oh, that's neat. It throws out a whip with like a a set of hooks on the end. Oh, that's cool. Whoa. Wow. That's certainly impressive. Wow. That is awesome. I love that. I almost want to give this to the sacrificial, but the problem is it wouldn't fit his character. I mentioned earlier all of his weapons, all of his weapons are the bloodstone skins. I spent over, I think I spent like 1,000 gold to get all those, something like that. Yeah, so it wouldn't fit his RP, by the way. Again, the handle is bigger than his arm. What even? Wow. Just wow. Ooh. Okay, I must admit, I've been saving the best act for the last class, the Mesmer. And probably Celia is going to be the one who's wielding this anyway, so, because her whole thing is that she's a one-woman show. She takes her magic act on the road. So, she has kind of glittery weapons and outfits and whatnot, so she's deliberately playing it up. Oh, look at those footsteps. Much more noticeable than on Ferris, where they're just little cracks that are barely noticeable. Actually, look like little puddles. it's like walking through sand with really hot feet or something like that. That sounds weird. And then, or like boots are really hot or something, and then you're like melting the sand as you step on it, and then as you go by, the sand cools down and it turns into glass or crystal or something like that. I feel like that's kind of what they were trying to do, or something along those lines, like puddles of light or something. So, okay, let's see. So, unlike the other four characters I've previously shown you with the Mesmer, its Greatsword is a ranged weapon. It turns into an anime beam cannon. Dude, that's awesome. Good grief. God, whoever concepted this legendary weapon, they went. Not only did they come up with this idea, it's a shape-changing weapon, but ArenaNet actually listened to them and actually did that. Good grief. I'm guessing this is going to be pretty similar to the one on the Guardian, where it just piles the sword piles the sword straight into the ground, and that's it. So you're going to see her. She's going to hit the ground here, but it's going to pop up over here. I don't think the animation when it attacks is going to. I don't think the animation over here is going to change. It's only going to be the great sword. Yeah, it moves so fast I can't even track it. Nope. 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 Go away. Go away. I give. I give. No, don't hurt me. Hey. I didn't see the animation on the attacking animation when it hit. Yeah, that doesn't change.
Invigorating.
Yeah, and because it's only the one hit, it's only the one thing, so you're only ever going to see the one animation the whole time. Yeah. Okay. And then number 5 is a knockback. The closer you are, the further back they get knocked back. It's kind of boring. Let's try that again, shall we? Yeah, so the wave coming off of it doesn't change, but the blade itself doesn't. I'm not sure if the blade changes. What thing's that? Well, I'll find out when I put it into slow motion and editing. Okay, so what I want to see on the Mesmer specifically is, because Greatsword is a ranged weapon, I want to see what happens to the clones, the illusions, the phantoms, and all those things. If they also get the Exordium, or if it's just, I guess, or maybe like a basic sword or something? I don't know. Yep, they get Exordium as well. Huh. You look isolated enough. Die.
Never felt better.
Okay, so the shooting animation is the same, but I forgot that number 2 is, Come on, die. Cute. Forgot that it does that. Alright, let's try that again. I forgot that it bounces between targets. Oh, I tracked it 2 things. Why?
felt
Oh, that looks the same. The same boomerang animation is on the on the warrior, where it throws its greatsword. And I was talking about it's like a four-sided boomerang or whatever it is. So yeah, it looks to be the same thing. Didn't come back. Whatever. Let's do this one more time.
invigorating.
Huh. Interesting. It absolutely makes sense for her to be using this. Let's see if it's as big as her forearm. No, not quite. Actually, her arm is about the same. So it's actually smaller on an Asura. Male or female, I guess it doesn't matter. So it's about the same size. How about that? And the Clones, Illusions, Phantoms, and whatever else they're called. What are they called? I don't know. All of these things. They also have Exordium as well. I thought it was going to be like a default skin of some kind, a default Greatsword skin, but no, the Illusions, they also get the Exordium skin as well. That's great. I love that. You know, as I was loading Celia into the map here, I was thinking to myself, you know, it was only 5 weeks to construct this legendary, which, from my perspective, that's kind of mind-boggling because, I'll say it again, with Ferris, it was 6 months. And I had done, you know, I had just randomly collected stuff 4 years beforehand. And then when when I was actually working on making the thing, it took 6 months to craft the thing. By the time I got to the end of it, I was like, oh my god, I want to quit the game so bad, or I want to take a break for the game. And I took a break for like a week or something like that. And then I just came back and I was back to whatever it is. But even though I was collecting resources, like, it was not my intent to, get another legendary. I said, you know, if I wanted to make another legendary, Exordium would be at the top, would be among the top listings. Like, I also want a Shining Blade. I want to, well, actually, yeah, I want to get the Shining Blade, which is main hand sword. That's from season 3, I believe. I don't want any of the rifles, but I'm totally blanking all of a sudden on what all the legendaries look like. But anyways, I had said that at some point I wanted to make another legendary, but I also had learned a couple of valuable lessons. And indeed, I learned a valuable lesson here. Don't pick up amalgamated gemstones until the very end, when you know you're like a day or so away from completing it. Then, you know, fill up the amalgamated gemstones or whatever. So that's still a thing that's going to hang over me for a while. That's going to haunt me for a bit. But I'm still. Folks, I crafted a legendary weapon from scratch. You know, none of the components, anything like that. In 5 weeks. That just and I just decided one day up out of the blue, oh, I'm gonna make a legendary weapon. And like, oh, I really like this one, so I'll make this one. And 5 weeks. I never imagined that would be the case. Now, whether it's first generation, second generation, that's irrelevant. The point is, I got this done in 5 weeks, a month and a week. That's lightning from my perspective. Of course, it's been 5 weeks, so maybe some of the grinding that oh god, and some of the prices that I had to pay, which I've already gone over. But you know, for the most part, this went by so quickly. And bizarre as this is going to sound, unlike Ferris, which was a 6-month marathon. I was telling everybody, save early, save often, save early, save often. Elderwood planks and mithril ingots. You gotta save them no matter what. Never ever sell those. And, you know, within 6 months, I'd saved up almost 10,000 of each. And then 5 weeks after that, I had another legendary weapon. So this is so bizarre from my perspective. I'm probably never, ever, ever going to go for legendary armor because that's a PvP thing, and that would I would rage quit the game before I completed a full set of legendary armor. That is not happening. I think even raids. I'd have to do a bunch of raids, so I'm probably never ever gonna craft legendary armor, even though I'm very much a fan of Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. Um, but I'll probably continue to make legendary weapons. Although, obviously it's still gonna take me months to rebuild the supplies that I had in order to do this, and even when I waited 6 months, I still had to buy a number of things aside from those amalgamated gemstones. There was still some stuff I had to buy, you know. So, but now I've constructed two of them, but I feel like Exordium, bizarre as this is going to sound, I feel like I've just completed an ascended weapon. Like the amount of energy I put into it, the amount of effort and time I put into it, I feel like I've constructed an ascended weapon rather than a legendary. Maybe it's because I had all that elderwood and mithril saved up ahead of time, I can't really say, but that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. It's like, yeah, absolutely. This is an amazingly gorgeous weapon. It looks fantastic. I'm not going to argue with that. Absolutely. But like, maybe it's like I popped my cherry on Ferris, so like any legendary after that is not going to be as much ooh as the first one. Is that what it is? Is that how this works? But yeah, I'm glad I made it. Of those characters I've just shown you, I think most likely Celia is going to be the one who's going to be hanging on to it. In fact, maybe I should just set those stats on it right now. I'm still going to have to wardrobe. What are you doing? Yeah, what did I say in the previous thing? Let's see, customize. What did that say? Remove sigil, spirit sigil, stars. Yeah, you can remove it. I forgot. That's one of the advantages of a legendary weapon. Unlike any of the others, you can actually remove the thing that the sigil or whatever it is that's attached to it, and it doesn't cost you anything. You can add and remove as you see fit, and it doesn't cost you anything, or rather, it doesn't destroy anything. You don't have to salvage anything. God, I wonder if you can actually salvage a legendary weapon. Would they even let you do that? I don't know, but I don't want to find out. It would be another 6 months before I'd craft another one. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that again. Screw that noise. But anyways, let's see. Customize. Select stats. Oh, I see, okay. And Zerker all the time. See over there, and there. Now, the other advantage of a legendary weapon, which I did not go over previously when I showed off Ferris, is the other advantage is you can change the stats. So over here you can see power, precision, ferocity, which is my go-to. But another one, like for example, if I wanted to put it onto the celestial, some people like celestial. What's this? Select this stats to all equipped weapons. What now? To all equipped weapons. Really? Oh, you can see here her sword is precision, power, ferocity. Huh? Precision, power, ferocity, power, precision. Yeah, she's Zerker all the time. I wonder what that meant. I wonder what that means. I'm not sure. Okay, so anyways, it's power, precision, it's power, precision, ferocity. So let's make it celestial. Except, you see, ordinarily you have to take the ascended weapon or even exotic weapon. Exotic and or ascended weapons, you take them to the Mystic Forge, and there's a recipe, and it actually destroys the weapon. You still get the same class of weapon back. So if you put an ascended weapon in, you'll still get an ascended weapon back, but it will be a defaulted skin. it will not be the original weapon that you've got that you put in there. It's going to change it to a default, or whatever it is. So the advantage of a legendary weapon, and you can see right now it's celestial. The advantage is you can change it to whatever you want to at any time, and now it's gone back to berserker stats. And then also, yes, you can equip. Oops, I did that wrong. See, now it's on there, and then I'm going to remove Sigil of the
Statistically
Stars.
speaking,
Poof, it's
this
gone.
is rather rare.
Okay. I wonder if I can sell this. Oh yeah, I can. Since it's all circle all the time. Oh, and I got 3 gold off this. Done. Done! I'm not gonna mess with that. Let's see, can I get rid of these? Ah, I can't. Right. Oh, why did I do that? I could have stored them. Oops. My bad. Oh well, not paying attention. Don't care. Okay. The legendary Greatsword Exordium. I like it. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thank you for tuning in.